Hello, welcome to the course on audio signal processing for music applications. In this last week of the course, in these demonstration lectures, I want to show some tools, some systems that can exemplify some potential of the techniques and methods that we have been talking during these last few weeks. So in this particular lecture, I want to talk about Dunya. Dunya is a prototype, it's a website that we have been developing for a particular project, ComMusic, in which we want to develop technologies to explore music collections. So let me first tell you a little bit about the project, ComMusic. ComMusic is a project that has been going on already for close to 3 years. And in it, we are trying to start from audio recordings and from information about these recordings of particular music repertoires, of particular music traditions, and then develop techniques with which we can navigate, we can explore, discover this music. And the idea is do it from a cultural specific approach. So by taking advantage of the knowledge we have of a particular music tradition. So at the end, what we have is this Dunya prototype, which is basically a navigator to explore the corpus, the collection of recordings, and all the information that we have on these recordings. And the techniques we use are based on signal processing, machine learning, semantic analysis, and with that, some of the particular problems that we are focusing on are related to understanding the melody, the rhythm, and the relationship between the concepts that appeared in these recordings. So let me tell you a little bit more about ComMusic. We're doing what we call this cultural specific approach, or knowledge-driven sort of approach. The idea is that we start from particular music repertoires that have been studied enough so that we have enough knowledge that then we can use that knowledge to better analyze and describe the music. So we have taken 5 music traditions that are non-Western, and they're quite different from the type of music that the field of MIR has normally been paying attention to. And these 5 music traditions are quite very well developed, and there is a lot of information about them. So it's a good starting point to kind of challenge some of the technologies that we have been using so far. So the idea is to see how far we can take them and what new technologies do we need to develop to characterize these music collections. So we have chosen to use the 2 classical traditions in India, or the 2 main classical traditions in India, Carnatic from the south of India and Hindustani from the north of India. Then the music tradition from the north of Africa, what is called the Arab Andalusian tradition. That area is called the Maghreb. Then we are also studying the music of the Beijing opera from China. So that's of course it's within a theatrical operatic framework, but we're just focusing on the musical side of it. And then finally, we are also studying the Turkish makam music. This is the music from the Ottoman classical tradition that is maintained in Turkey. Okay, so let's go to Dunya, to the website. This is the main page of Dunya. You can access it directly through this URL, dunya.commusic.epf.edu, and it's a prototype. This is not a website to be used by the general public. This is a research prototype that we use for evaluating our research. However, it's open and you can access everything. Everything is open except the audio recordings. The audio recordings that we obtain, we bought, are commercial recordings, Therefore, we don't have the right to distribute them freely. However, if you accept the conditions that we have in here, and you apply for a login, we can give you a login if you accept basically to be a research subject of this project, and then you will be able to actually listen to the recordings, not to download, but just at least to listen to the recordings. And now I am logged in, so we'll be able to listen to these recordings. Okay, and this first window here is the search or the navigation through the metadata that we have about the recording. So you can do a standard text search, or you can do search exploring the different entities that we have defined as being relevant for this particular music tradition. And we decided that the name of artist, concert, instrument, raga, and tala are the important entities concepts. Raga being the melodic framework and tala being the rhythmic framework. So raga, for example, these are all the ragas that we have recordings of. So you can click at any raga, search, and it will return the recordings and entities that relate to this raga. And also you can do it for the artists, and you can search for instruments, or you can so if you can click here, you search for the instruments that we have recordings of, or of course the tala too. Well, I don't want to go explaining everything here. You feel free to do it yourself. I just want to go, for example, directly to one artist page. Okay, so for example, there is Amrita Murali. She's a singer that I know and I like her quite a bit. I'm not that familiar with Carnatic music, but doing this project, I have learned to appreciate quite a bit some of this music. So you do, well, let's take the raga out, and we just will do the query of the artist. So that will return, and this I already have it, the search outcome of having clicked Rita Murali, and the result are the page of her, and then the pages of the recordings of the concerts that we have of her. So let's go to her page. Okay, so this is the information we have from her, and already this is quite interesting in the sense that we have been gathering data from internet, from some websites, like in this case, for example, this biography is obtained from kucheris.com, which is a website specialized in Carnatic music, and all the metadata that you will be seeing comes from MusicBrainz. I will tell you more about MusicBrainz in the next demonstration class, but MusicBrainz is a website that basically has metadata about recordings, and in fact we have put ourselves all this information about all these recordings in MusicBrainz, so then it's available for everyone. So that's open data that can be accessible from a place like, in this case, Dunya. Okay, so this is her page, and for example, interesting things, we can also look for artists that are similar, and this already doing some semantic analysis. So these artists, and we don't have pictures of, but only of some of them, are related to her, and then we establish a semantic relationship of similarity that in this case relates if they belong to the same school, or they have had the same guru, so they have some common kind of aesthetic relationship or training, similar training they have gone through. And also we can look for collaborating artists. So these are artists that have played with her in concerts. So for example, we have this Madranga player, and we can see in what concert they have been collaborating. So then we can just click at the concert. Okay, and so this will be the page of this concert. They played together in this December season 2009. And in here, that's where we actually have the actual recordings. Okay, so we have the different tracks of the CD of the concert, and we have the list of artists that have played in that concert. And we also have similar concerts, and that's also an interesting semantic relationship. So these related concerts have been obtained by looking at the type of pieces that have been played in this first concert. So it looks for concerts that have pieces in which the raga being used and the tala have a good overlap with our concert. So in that sense, they may be musically related. So now we can go to a particular track of this CD or a song of this concert. So for example, let's go to this last recording here in Atinomu Palamu. I have it already open here. This is what we call the recording page. So in here we can display some of the outcomes of the kind of research we have been doing. Still, again, is very preliminary. But for example, we see the waveform. The waveform can be zoomed into more smaller chunks. Here we have in the middle the view of the whole waveform for the whole song. And below here, we have the pitch track that we have analyzed automatically from the song, so that we can see how it evolves in time. And we have these horizontal lines that give us the values of the tonic, the kind of the fundamental frequency. In Indian music, there is a drone, the tambura, that plays a note that is the reference note, and every musician, every artist has a different one. So in this case, we have analyzed it, and it's a G. Okay, so it automatically obtained this value of 196 hertz as the tonic for this particular song. Okay, the background color is the spectrum of the overall timbre, so we can kind of visualize a little bit of the overall timbre of the piece of music. And here on the left side, this red shape is what we call the pitch histogram, in which we see kind of the distribution of pitches for the whole song, the average of the whole song. And that gives you a quite interesting view of what pitches are being more emphasized for the song, and this is a way to characterize a particular piece of music or the intonation of a singer for a particular raga, for example. But let's listen to that first. Zoom in a little bit. So for example, now we are on the tonic. She's singing the tonic of this particular song. And here we see where that tonic is in this white line. We see that the tonic is not the most common note or a swara of this particular song, but in fact the octave is more common, and in fact the fifth, what is called the pa, is even more prominent in this particular song. Anyway, with that you can really explore and learn quite a few things about the song. And again, this is just some preliminary data that we are displaying. The idea is to display much more. The kinds of things that we are aiming at are related to this bottom part of this display, the idea of similar recordings. So the idea is to explore similarity within the song and across songs. So do we explore the similarity within the whole collection of music recordings. So for example, here we are starting to explore the idea of similar recordings of the whole collection of Carnatic music based on the pitch histogram. So we are characterizing this shape and then looking for other shapes that might be similar on some key aspects. Okay, so for example, these are songs, the first ones that were identified as somewhat similar within the same raga. And I have here one of them, this Varnam. This is sung by another artist, completely different. In fact, let's listen to that. Okay, anyway, so that gives you an idea of what we have and maybe a little bit of an idea of what we would like to have, which hopefully would allow us then to explore even further patterns that might be similar and navigate in a more complex way. Hopefully in the next year or two we'll have a much more sophisticated exploration of all this. Okay, let's go back to the slides. We have basically presented Dunya, which is this website that you can, we are most welcome to look at and navigate and explore. If you need more information about the project and the kinds of things we are doing and all the publications that already have been done and shared, and so you can look at the ComMusic website, and I'm sure you will have a lot of information. We have also quite a few tutorials and videos of lectures that we have given, so you will be able to learn quite a bit about that. And that was all. This was an example of a prototype of a technology that is based on a number of the things we are doing, a number of the things we have learned in this class, and that pushes definitely these type of technologies forward into the idea of exploring music, and not just any kind of music, but music by making sure that it makes sense for a particular music tradition. Again, this is very much open research still, but hopefully some interesting results will come soon. So thank you very much, and I will see you in the next lecture. Bye-bye.